What's up, YouTube? Team Deception here with a deck profile for you guys, like I promised you guys on Monday. Like I said, I didn't record at my local, so I figured I would just do kind of a few deck profiles for you guys this week and see if, So the first one I wanted to do is something I actually played on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, and it actually played pretty well for me. I'm not sure if this is the standard Dragunity build that I think the OCG is playing or whatever, like in regards to how they play it now. But this is based off of what I thought they played or might play, and shit like that. So let's just get into the deck profile. The first card is Zephyros. Obvious plays with this are bouncing things like your Dragon Ravine or your Darkness Metal Dragon, or like a Mistletoe that you've just summoned or whatever, something like that. Because I mean, Mistletoe with your Phalanx is quite stupid. So yeah, it's just there to make some bigger, more explosive plays. Next up we have two Achilles. This is kind of a whatever card. Like, it's mainly just there with your Legion just to help get rid of some field and to fodder off with consonants if you don't want it in your hand. Next up we have three Mistletones. Mistletoe with, like I just said, with Phalanx is pretty stupid. Like, if you normal summon the Phalanx, you can tribute it for Mistletoe, special summon, to special summon it, and then you can use its effect to equip the Phalanx, and then use the Phalanx to summon back, and so on and so forth. It's pretty stupid because of the fact that it's a level 6 dragon, so you can use it to make a ton. You can also use it to make this card, which isn't out yet, but it will be in about a month from now, maybe a month and a half. And with this, it's actually really stupid. We'll get into that later. But yeah, this with your Phalanx is one of your main plays, I guess you could say. But there's more you can do with it as well. Dragunity Dux is in here for obvious reasons. It's a level 4 winged beast that pretty much allows for an instant Vajrayana with Phalanx. Phalanx is like your main part of this deck. You kind of want to focus around him, obviously. But yeah, it's pretty much all the Dux is really there for, is to make an instant level 8 synchro, just like with Mistletoe and Phalanx. Legionnaire, this allows for a lot of different plays. You can use it to make a level 5 synchro if you really want to. I don't really have it or any level 5s in here, just because I don't really see myself ever really doing that. It's mainly just to use or Achilles or bring out Phalanx, and like if I wanted to, like I could tribute off Legionnaire for this at any other given time, and or I can use this to get rid of it as well. So whatever. Like, Legionnaire, even if it has its dead moments, it still has some kind of use, so whatever. 3 Phalanx, your main tuner for the deck. You want to have this in your grave or in your hand, and so you can discard it for this, or or if you have this in your hand, basically they're just to run your synchros and whatever. 1 Darkness Metal, kind of standard in anything that plays dragons, especially something that's heavier on dragons. But in here, it's still kind of a mandatory card. I don't really know if anyone out there suddenly thinks that it's not a good card for the deck. And if you do, I probably would be tempted to call you bad. But that's just me. Next up we have 2 Tempest, the Elemental Dragon of Cyclones. This is the Wind Incarnate Dragon. I guess some people might still know them or call them as the Incarnates. You can banish two other wind monsters, or 2 other monsters that are wind and or dragon type from your hand and your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand or your graveyard. So it's a free 2400. It's also a level 7 for what it's worth. But you're obviously not going to be making rank 7s really in this deck anyways, just because you're only playing 2 7s. If it's summoned by its effect, it returns to the hand, and it says that you can discard this as well as another wind monster to add any dragon type monster from your deck to your hand. This is where, like I mentioned the Mistletoe thing earlier, you can discard this in like a Phalanx or whatever to search this out. You can use this to search out this. You can do all kinds of stupid crap with that. So I mean, it's just an overall really, really good card. So I mean, and it's also, like I said, it's also 2400, so whatever, it's good. Onto the spells, we have 2 cards of Consonance. Obviously, you're just to add a little bit of speed to the deck, you can discard. You have 5 targets for it in your deck. It's more than enough. Destiny Heroes used to do the same thing with like 2 Malicious and like 2 diamond dudes in like a Fearmonger or a Doomlord, you know, shit like that. So it works. Plus the Ravine makes sure that you always have a tuner to discard if you really, you know, or you can discard this for a Ravine to, you know, search out a Dux or whatever if you want. Dark Hole, one of the big three. I don't need to explain that. Dragon Ravine, again, this is kind of a part of the engine of the deck. You have to have it. You discard and then you can search this. Like if you have this in your hand, you can discard it, search out your Dux, and then make your Vajrayana and then your level 8 Synchro. So Heavy Storm, another of the big three. 2 instant fusions. This is something that the OCG is the only people that can actually do this is the OCG. Instant fusion is for getting out Maveless. If you can't tell already, it's a level 4 winged beast fusion monster. It's there for your Phalanx or your Achilles. Like if you don't want to use its effect to special summon or whatever, you can just, you know, and then synchro with the Maveless you bring out off of instant fusion. Monster Reborn, another of the big three. You got your 2 MSTs because you do kind of want to make sure that you can get rid of some of their back row, if nothing else, to allow you to make a big push. Avarice for whenever you kind of have a shit ton of monsters in your graveyard, because eventually you will wind up that way. I mean, Ravine helps flood the graveyard, so does this, so does this. I mean, so it's just Avarice. It's an overall good card. 2 Bottomless Trap Holes. This is something I think is going to be seeing a lot more play than people think, but that's just me. Bottomless is just there to remove threats or force your opponent's hand to make them do something to stop it. Compulsory, kind of the same thing, but it's a chainable card, which makes it equally good. 2 Fiendish Chains. There's macro's still a huge thing, and like I guess Valor would be just as good, I guess, but I don't like the idea of drawing into more tuners that I don't need. And this I can set in my back row and be like, okay, this is still something you have to read, otherwise, you know. Next up we have the Parasolemns, because there's no Solemn Brigade anymore, it's just a pair. So, you really don't need to explain them. You can consider them like 2 of the 4 big traps right now. I don't know if you want to count any others as big traps, but whatever. And last off for the traps is 2 Torrential Tributes. Overall, just one of the most amazing cards and punishes players that overextend. This is how I see it. Under the extra deck, we have 2 Maveless. I already explained this. I really don't have to, you know. Gay Dirg, this is an amazing card for searching out things like your Zephyros, or you could search out, like if you have this in your hand already, you can search out this, and then you can discard this, and, you know, go off or whatever. It's excellent for searching out fucking Legionnaire. If you have this in hand, you can just do all kinds of dumb shit. Like, it's just there to be an added kind of Ravine, which is really good. 3 Vajrayana, obviously your summon, synchro, because obviously it's the one that helps you make your quick level 8 synchros. 1 Scrap Dragon, it's usually a standard card if you're playing enough tuners and like a deck that's capable of making consistent synchros. Stardust, every fucking Malefic Dragunity deck has to have Stardust, in my opinion. Like, it's just there to protect a lot of your cards, especially when you're making a big push. Thought Ruler, I've always found this to be a decent card just for replenishing life, as well as like if you attack and they try to depriz or something, you could just pay 1,000 and go fuck you. Extra deck now, like I said, I kind of wanted to cover this. This is an amazing card. It allows you to recycle your Dragunity Dux, it allows you to recycle this, it allows you to recycle Legionnaire, it allows you to recycle Darkness Metal, or remove threats from your opponent's field and put it back into their hand or whatever, or if they're very dependent on their graveyard, like if you're playing against Insectors, you can, I don't know, get rid of one, or well, I guess that's dumb, I'd scratch that. But like, if there's something that they want in their graveyard but would be dead in their hand, you could put it back into their hand and say, fuck you, you have to somehow get rid of it again. Like, whatever. Like, you can also return their monsters on their field, which is kind of the same thing as a compulsory, which in my opinion is actually kind of dumb. 1 Gaia Dragon, because everything else in here is rank 6. So, Atom, you can overlay this with your Vajrayana, or you could overlay like 2 of these if you summon 2 or whatever, and you can overlay for Atom, bring out Darkness Metal, and all that other shit. You know. Exobeetle, kind of a mandatory if you're going to be doing any kind of rank 6 plays. It's just way too good. Force Focus, just for the, like, if you wanted to, you can negate Trag, you can negate Gores whenever it tries to summon its token, stuff like that. And then you have the one random Bouncer, because Bouncer is fucking amazing. So that's the deck. Let me know what you guys think of it. You know, if what you would change, or what you like, how you would actually go about building the deck, or like if you would have some kind of unique, you know, twist to your deck or whatever. So yeah, that's about everything. So rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click something, you know, like an ad or two or whatever. You know, as long as you do it responsibly, because it's always a big help. It allows me to, you know, eventually give back to the community. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, all other good shit. Until next time, this is Team Deception 09 signing off.